Okay, in the world of logistics and trucking, there are a lot of different acronyms like NMFTA or FMCSA or CARB compliance or SCAC code. Today we're going to talk about the SCAC code. And a lot of times you hear people say that freight brokers don't need a SCAC code. And that is true in some cases, but it's also not true in other cases. Sometimes you're going to need a SCAC code. So we're going to talk about today the SCAC code, what it is, how it works, do you need it, and if you do need it, what is the cost of the SCAC code, and how would you go about getting one? So come with me today as we talk about the SCAC code and show you how it works. Okay, so today the question is, what is a SCAC code? And do I really need one as a freight broker? And what that question really boils down to is where you are in your company, what type of freight you're moving, what type of customers you're working with, and do those customers require that you have a SCAC code? Not all customers require that you have a SCAC code. As a matter of fact, most don't require that you have a SCAC code, but you are going to have some that require that you have a SCAC code. So as you start to scale your business, a SCAC code is a very good thing to add at some point. The SCAC code is a privately controlled U.S. code used to identify road transportation companies. Now the SCAC, that acronym stands for Standard Carrier Alpha Code. And it's usually going to be 2 to 4 letters long. For example, my SCAC code is ALQE. That identifies my company. So if I pull up to my shipper and I give them my SCAC code, that's going to identify my company, give them all of my information, and let them know who's bringing that load or who's coming to pick up that load. That's how you get access to the facility via your SCAC code. And this code was developed by the National Motor Freight Traffic Association during the 60s. Okay, do freight brokers really need a SCAC code? Now, freight brokers do not need a SCAC number to operate in interstate commerce. You don't need this number to operate as a freight broker. Most companies are not going to require that you have a SCAC identification number. Some companies will not use a carrier unless they have a SCAC code. Okay, so let's take a look at this. If you're moving government freight, you're going to be required to have a SCAC code. If your customer requires that you have a SCAC code to access their facility, you'll have to have a SCAC code. Now, I'm working with a customer and have been working with a customer for the last 2 years that require me to have a SCAC code. So in 2016, I got a SCAC code. Started my company in 15, but I didn't get the SCAC code until 16 because I wasn't working with a customer that required that I have a SCAC code until 16. So I didn't get one until 16. Don't need it until 16, so I didn't get it until 16. I didn't go ahead and start paying for it before I needed it. Not that that's a bad thing. If you want to go ahead and get a SCAC code, you'll see that it's not very expensive to get one, and then you're already set up in the event that you need one. So we don't have to have the SCAC code. It's not required by the FMCSA, but there are special circumstances that will require that you have a SCAC code. For example, if you're moving government freight or your customer requires that you have one. So in the event that you need a SCAC code, how do you go about getting one? Well, you simply go to the website secure.nmfta.org/welcome.aspx as in X-ray. You just go over to that website and you're going to fill out an application in order to get a SCAC code. I know some of you like to talk before you fill out applications, and if that's the case, you can give the National Motor Freight Traffic Association a call over here at this number, 703-838-1831. But it's a very easy process to fill out the application, and we're going to go through that here very quickly. Okay, so I just go to the website, and if I want to do a SCAC renewal, I simply click Renew. If you don't have a SCAC code already, and you want to apply for one, you just click the apply. So I'll just go from the beginning and click the apply button here. And it's going to take you through an application. And you just fill out that application with your company information, FMSCA registration, your requester information, you review the application, you make the payment. And then once your payment is made, they'll send you out something that looks like this. Okay, so this is the NMFTA, that's the National Motor Freight Traffic Association. They're going to give you a
standard carrier alpha code assignment, and they'll assign you your code, and here's your information, your paperwork to prove that you have a valid SCAC code. So it's that simple. So how much is it going to cost? When you get to the payment section of that application, it's going to require that you make a payment. So you simply go in and make a $71 payment, and you're going to get your SCAC code. Now, if you go in and you do it by credit card or check, it's going to cost you more money. It's going to save you money if you do it, via the internet. So I suggest doing it on the online application. Save yourself money. Do it very easily and get your SCAC code right away. Now, you also can renew it on the internet the same way that you applied for it. So you just go in where we showed you where you click apply, you'll click renew. So this is a renewable document that you're going to have to get done every single year. It's going to cost you 71 bucks. Okay, quick recap of what we discussed today. We talked about the SCAC code, whether or not you need a SCAC code as a freight broker, if you need one, how you get one, and how much it's going to cost. So if you found this video to be helpful, please like it and share it with your network. And also, if you want more videos like this, we have these videos come out usually every Monday morning. You can simply subscribe to our channel and you'll receive updates as we release these videos. So thanks so much for your time today. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.